Let's be real. The old way of selling, it's over. It's done. For decades, sellers had all the power because they had all the information, but that world is long gone. Today, buyers have all the information they need, and they're more skeptical than ever. And in this new world, a different kind of competitive advantage has emerged, one that's hiding in plain sight: empathy. You see, for years, the entire game was about having an information advantage. You knew more about the product, the competition, the data, and that's how you won. But information is a commodity now. Everyone has it. The new battleground, the new way to win is the understanding advantage. It's about getting a deep, almost unfair grasp of your buyer's world, what drives them, what scares them, and all the messy internal politics they're dealing with every single day. And that brings us right to the heart of this explainer. To even compete today, we have to completely redefine what we mean by empathy. Because in business, it's not some fuzzy, soft feeling. It's a sharp, strategic skill. Think about it. When a deal stalls, it's rarely because you didn't know enough about your product. It stalls because you misdiagnosed the buyer's actual problem. This isn't a failure of emotional empathy. You don't have to feel their anxiety. It's a failure of cognitive empathy, the skill of seeing the world from their perspective, of understanding the chessboard they're playing on. So let's just bust two massive myths right now. Myth number one, you're either born with empathy or you're not. Total nonsense. Myth number two, empathy means you have to agree with the buyer and just be a pushover. Absolutely not. The reality is, empathy is a learnable skill. It's about perspective taking. It's a muscle you can build, a process you can measure, and a tool you can deploy with surgical precision. Okay, so if it's a skill, how do you actually apply it? Well, the top performers use a commercial model that breaks it down into 4 key dimensions. This isn't guesswork. This is the framework they use to turn that understanding into actual, measurable revenue. You see, the best in the business don't just have empathy. They aim it. They deploy it strategically across 4 very distinct areas of their buyer's world. And each one of these dimensions gives them a different piece of the puzzle. Let's dig in. First up, the buyer's external pressures. This is the big picture stuff. The forces they can't control, what the market is doing, what their competitors are up to, new government regulations. When you understand this world, the conversation completely changes. You stop talking about your product's features and start talking about their company's survival and strategy. Second is the buyer's internal environment. And honestly, this is where most deals secretly go to die. What really incentivizes your contact? Who are their rivals down the hall? How does a budget actually get signed off on around here? If you don't get this political map, you're just flying blind. The third dimension is all about the human being you're talking to, their personal and emotional landscape. You have to remember, nobody wants to be the person who championed a project that failed. Understanding their fear of making a mistake, their career ambitions, their personal risk, that's how you build real trust and keep the deal alive when it inevitably gets rocky. And finally, the fourth dimension, the buyer's cognitive process. It's all about how they think. How do they weigh evidence? Are they a numbers person? A story person? What's their process for making a tough call? Knowing this tells you exactly how to frame your solution. It's not about what you think is important. It's about giving them the information they need in the way their brain is wired to receive it. So how does all this deep understanding actually translate into dollars and cents? It works through 3 specific commercial mechanisms. First, mastering these 4 dimensions lets you diagnose problems way more accurately. Second, you dramatically lower the buyer's perceived risk because you're addressing their unspoken fears. And third, you can actually get all the stakeholders on the same page because you understand what each of them really, truly cares about. All right, so we've covered the why in a lot of detail. Now, let's get super practical with the how. In this next section, we're gonna walk through a 5-step action plan to turn empathy from a nice idea into a skill your whole team can use every single day. Okay, here's the playbook. Step 1, you build a psychology map for your key buyers. Step 2, your discovery calls go way beyond the surface to get what we call high-resolution context. Step 3, and this is crucial, you validate, you don't assume, you're constantly checking your understanding. 4, you tailor your solution not just to the business problem, but to their political and personal realities. And finally, step 5, you manage every single stakeholder through their own unique lens, speaking their language. So let's see this in action. Let's take an objection that I am sure we've all heard a million times. It's the classic deal killer. We don't have budget. And this right here is where everything changes. A low empathy seller hears no budget and thinks, okay, deal's dead, and they move on. But a high empathy seller hears no budget and knows it's just the tip of the iceberg. They're thinking, what does that really mean? It could be political risk, it could be that their champion is afraid, it could be that they haven't sold it internally. The high empathy seller doesn't stop, they start digging for the real problem. So let's bring this all home. The single biggest takeaway here is that we have to rescue the word empathy from the soft skills column and put it where it belongs, as a core, strategic, competitive advantage. So let me be crystal clear. Empathy is not softness. It's not about being nice or avoiding tough conversations. It is precision, the precision to correctly diagnose the real problem beneath the surface and prescribe the exact right solution. It is influence. It's the ability to build the kind of trust that aligns entire teams of people and guides them to make a confident decision. And at the end of the day, it is revenue. It is the direct, undeniable link between deep human understanding and commercial success. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. If empathy is truly the most powerful and underestimated competitive advantage we have today, what are you actively doing to build it? Not as a personality trait you hope to hire, but as a core measurable skill across your entire team.